Okay, today we're going to continue with our unit on functions. You'll find this in your notes, so make sure that you follow along with me. All right. Functions can also be represented by an equation. The equation will generate ordered pairs by taking an input, okay, which is usually the x, that will result in an output, which is usually the y, and then that's how you get your ordered pair. Okay. The graph of the equation and all set of ordered pairs will form a line, or it could form a curve. Okay. So think about this. The x value is called the independent variable, which is also our input. Okay, so you input the x, and then the dependent variable is the y, which we also consider as the output. Okay. Now, so what we're going to do is go down here and do some examples of how this really works. Right. All right. So as you can see here, we already have our x values right here. Okay. So what we're going to do is input the x, all right, into the equation there. So look at number one. We're going to take and substitute this -5 where the x is, so we can get our y. So it would be y equals -5 plus 4. Okay. Well, -5 plus 4, when I do that, equals -1. So that is our y. Y is -1. Okay. All right. So if we did that again, we would do y equals -4 plus 4. Well, -4 plus 4, y equals 0. So as you see, I'm just inputting those in there. Y equals -2 plus 4. And that -2 plus 4 is 2. And then we have y equals 0 plus 4. And 0 plus 4 is 4. So all we did was substitute those in there. Okay. Now what we would do is graph it. Okay. What we would do is graph it. All right. And so now I have -5, -1. So go to the left 5 and down 1. There's my first point. Then -4, 0. Then -2, 2. And then 0, 4. And then I have where it says, remember it said it forms a line? It forms a straight line. So I just graphed it. Okay. Now, let's skip down here to number 3. Okay, we're gonna go down here to number 3. All right, so again, we're taking these and putting them in for x. Okay, so my first one, I would have y equals y equals 3, and I put -2 in for x. Well, that equals y equals -6. So I'll put that there. Then my next one, y equals 3 times -1. Well, that equals -3. Then I have y equals 3 times 0. Well, that equals 0. 3 times 0 is 0. All right, then I have y equals 3 times 1, and that equals 3. All right, now I'm going to graph it. Okay, so -2, 6, my first point. -1, -3, my second point. 0, 0, it's right there at the origin. 1, 3. Okay, and then I draw my line. Make sure you put arrows on the end of your line. Okay, and there I have it. All right, so literally you're just substituting those in there. Okay, now the ones with the fractions, listen, don't panic with the fractions. Okay, you do the exact same thing, just use your calculator to put the fraction in. Okay, in your calculator, use the ABC button for a fraction. Okay, but don't panic. You do the exact same thing. Okay, you do the exact same thing. So just real quick, like on number 2 right here. So number 2, I would still input that in there for x. So you would write it like this: y equals 3/4. Again, use the ABC button. Put them in parentheses, -4 minus 2. Okay. All right. So you put that in your calculator, and then you would get your answer. Okay. And then that would end up being y equals -5. Okay. Then I would go down and I would do the same thing I would do y equals 3/4, 0 in parentheses minus 2. Okay. And that gives me is y equals -2. All right. And I do the same thing. So I have -5 here and -2 here, and so on and so forth. So just utilize your calculator to help you with that. Okay. All right. If we go to the next page, okay, and let's go down here to number 7. And we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it multiple times, and we want to put it in a table. Okay. And we also want to write the range. Okay. So it tells us the domain. Remember that domain is x. Okay. So it tells us the domain, which is really telling us what the x's are. So we're substituting those in there. Okay. So we have y equals, let me move that. We'd have y equals 4 minus 5. Well, that gives me y equals -1. So let's write these as a table. So the x is 4. We have a 6 and an 8. So when I put 4 in, I get -1. Okay. So now I'm going to do y equals 6 minus 5. Okay. Well, 6 minus 5 is a +1. So when I put 6 in, I get 1. And then I'm going to have y equals 8 minus 5, and I get y equals 3. All right. So there's that. And then if I want to, when I write the range, okay, remember the range is y. Remember, it's got to be in order from least to greatest. And I'd have -1, 1, and 3. Okay, so those are my answers there. All right, let's skip down here to number 9. All right, we're going to do the same thing. We're just inputting them in, okay? We're doing the same thing. So I want to have my X and my Y table. Remember, the domain is X. So I have -2, 3, and 5. And remember, I'm just going to substitute those in there. Be very careful here. So I'm going to have Y equals 4 minus, and then put in parentheses, -2. So 4 minus -2 is 6. Okay. All right. Now I have Y equals 4 minus 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1. And then I have Y equals 4 minus 5. And 4 minus 5 is -1. Now I write my range. And remember, least to greatest. So it's -1, 1, and 6. Okay. Least to greatest. Least to greatest. Okay. Again, you'll just end up using your calculator for the fractions. Okay. So let's look at number 11 real quick. Okay. Look at number 11. Got my X, my Y. So -4, 0, 6. So I come up here and I got Y equals 7 minus 1/2 and then -4. Okay. When I put that in my calculator, use the ABC button, and this will give me 9. Okay, so Y equals 9. So I come here, do the same thing. Y equals 7 minus 1/2 times 0. Okay, and that gives me 7. Then I have Y equals 7 minus 1/2 times 6. Okay, and that gives me 4. Okay, so I write my range, least to greatest. So 4, 7, 9. All right. So that's all you're doing, is just substituting them in and solving them. Again, use your calculator. Okay. All right. Just substitute them in correctly and then use your calculator to get those outputs. Okay. Next, you'll just follow the directions that are left for you in Google Classroom. And remember, all of your assignments are due Monday. They must be due Monday. Or if you're a gold student, well, if you are a gold student, they'll be due on Tuesday, but purple students are due Monday. All right.